Hello, everyone. So I just kind of want to make this short video because I'm working on a separate video right now in regards to manspreading. So that's been a project I've been working on for a bit, but I felt I needed to speak out about this kind of thing. In the last 2 days, I've gotten on Facebook on a page basically that is called Edmonton Confessions. Basically, what it is that people can go on there and confess weird things about their lives anonymously, so we don't know who they are. And then people of Facebook can reply to these people's anonymous posts. So this one is in regards to male feminists and my response to that. So I'm just going to read it out as it is. And my replies. Now, I've had certain women chastise me. There have been some male feminists that also commented on this, one of which is actually a friend of mine. So they kind of got a shock about my stance on things such as feminism and equal rights. So let's begin. So, Edmonton Confessions on Facebook, number 5826. If you are a male feminist, I question your sexual preference, or I come to the conclusion that you are a thirsty, stiletto-licking, spineless, no-dick-having excuse for a male. As a male feminist, you should be stripped of your genitalia and publicly shamed like the traitor to humanity you are. How hard up for pussy are you, dude? This is my response. Male feminists are a funny lot. Most of them are beta males. Some want to get close to women for their approval and possibly get laid by them. Not realizing that many feminists don't even see males as feminists, but allies. Which makes feminism only about women and therefore contradicts their very definition. Male feminists are pushovers. They have no independence and not even women take them seriously. Men who understand gender politics won't even support them. I'm sorry to say this, but male feminists are a joke. No one really respects them, and they are delusional in thinking that they are there to white knight women who more than likely friend zone them. But we should just get rid of feminism altogether because it has completely fucked up the relationships between men and women. It's done more harm than good, in my honest opinion. So far, I've had 13 people like this, both men and women, and then there's been obviously some responses to this. Certain people have said that's deep. Other people, especially women, have said, like one woman, she said that my alpha male husband and son seem to have no problem seeing women as equals and partners without compromising their manhood. And I congratulated her for this, and she obviously gets it, right? That men can still be men, treat their women as equals, and those women treat their men as equals, so we accept each other's differences, but we also treat them the same on a more higher level. So a male feminist actually, responded to me basically saying that he is a proud male feminist. And he basically says that you and the idiot that made this post are probably cokeheads anyway. My response to this person: way to assume someone's life story simply because I disagree with feminism. LOL. I'm glad you call yourself a feminist and proud of it. Sad to hear you're part of a cult and a hate movement towards men and boys. No one really takes you seriously, dude. Sorry to be the one to tell you. I, too, was pro-feminism in my college days. Yep, I have a bachelor's degree, and I travel the world a bit, and I have no debt, and I'm pursuing what I love, which is art and circus. Definitely the signs of a cokehead, as you call me. But then when I wanted to speak to my female feminist friends about the struggles of men, such as unfair rights of fathers in court systems, high rate of male suicide, domestic violence towards men by their female spouses, and circumcision, they attacked me, shut down the conversation, called me things such as misogynistic and pro-rapist. A pro-rapist. After that, I saw what feminism was truly about. They cared more about women and non-equality amongst the sexes and the security of the label of feminism. They care nothing for men, only in the means of controlling them, not uplifting them. When people uphold an ideology above the struggles of people, both men and women, then that says to me their movement is not about equality. Feminism is obsolete in today's Western societies, and please list for me one right that a man has that a woman does not. While I and the rest of the world waits for your answer to that question, I'll be over here helping those in need and educating people what feminism is truly about. Good day to you. And here is where a friend of mine that, I've known for a while, we're not too close, but I know a little bit of their history. So I won't go into details about it, but they are a person who has transitioned between being from a female to a male. But I won't go more into their detail because I just don't feel comfortable doing that. But now you know. So my friend's response to me. I'm so glad you've publicly declared your opinion of feminists like myself. It's really great to hear when people consider me to have no self-esteem, no concept of gender politics, not be worthy of respect, and be chasing after women. How exciting. I didn't know any of that before this moment. I feel so enlightened about how other men see me now. As a gay man, I am certainly not chasing after women or licking their stilettos, as the OP posted, but that does sound like fun for those who are so inclined. Feminism in Canada is no longer about rights. You're right, men and women have the same legal rights. But about respect and ability to move about the world without fear of violence and discrimination. When is the last time any of you other men here felt afraid walking alone at night? JC, since you stated yourself that you are an effeminate man, have you ever considered that the vast majority of the shit you deal with is because of the effeminate part rather than the man part? I hazard a guess that this may be the case, as a somewhat feminine guy myself. Feminism, the ideology that feminine and masculine people are equal, would actually help you out if you bothered to learn what it was about from someone other than fellow men's rights activists. All this to say, I usually don't engage in the online discussions arguments, but I'm over it. If you all hate feminism so much, why don't you post about what you actually do like and support? People call you misogynist because you rail against their feminist beliefs instead of posting something reasonably supporting boys and men. If you're so fixated on the issue, go volunteer and mentor young men, or do something more worthy with your time than arguing against feminism. Feminism's here to stay, no matter how much internet ranting you guys do. One like. My response. Look at my Facebook page. I promote men's rights. I also promote strong women and even some trans issues. So you're wrong in assuming that just because I am not a feminist, that I'm just attacking its ideology. I'm sorry to tell you this, but feminism is not about equality of the sexes. You think it is, and by the definition of it, it says this, but in reality, it's not. Trust me, it hurt me when I found this out, and I learned the hard way that the female friends of mine who I supported in college for almost a decade turned on me the moment I wanted to talk about men's issues. Take a look at the media. Why is there a growing amount of people, both men and women by the way, who are against feminism? Think about that. Maybe it's because it's full of lies and bullshit and overly entitled women who only want to keep the conversation about themselves and obtaining more privileges and rights over others. A few big lies that feminism pushes is the gender wage gap, which has been debunked numerous times, the notion that Western societies live in a rape culture, which we don't, the fact that the patriarchy exists, which it also doesn't, the fact that numerous amounts of men suffer with ill treatment and suicide, and lack of domestic violence shelters disproves that. And if you say something such as, well, the patriarchy hurts men too, then I ask you this. If the patriarchy hurts men too, that would suggest a particular group of men call themselves the patriarchy. Can you name me any men who call themselves the patriarchy? And what about all the women in power, both political and financially? Oprah Winfrey, Margaret Thatcher, Hillary Clinton, J.K. Rowling, Ellen DeGeneres. All actresses, all different types of writers, all directors that are women. Are they part of this patriarchy? The fact is, the lies that feminists push are being disproven with facts and common sense. And then women will play the victim card whenever their argument is proven wrong. So they want to smash traditional gender roles and have more agency for themselves, but when the chips fall and it's proven that they are wrong, they fall back on the damsel in distress trope to weed their way out of it. See how that works? No, I do not follow feminism. Its very fabric of its core ideology favors only women and not men. Yes, I am an effeminate man, more androgynous. Some people saw me as a young boy, some saw me as a girl, but they didn't really treat me different because of that. They merely couldn't tell what my gender was, and instead of attacking these people for not understanding who I was, I taught them about what androgyny meant. I treated this as a common misunderstanding and not as an attack against my person. I am treated the way that I want to be treated. I've had my hardships in the past, but I never see myself as a victim. Well, not until my close female feminist friends attacked me. Can you explain their behavior? Can you explain to me why they would attack me this way when all I wanted was to discuss men's issues and lend help where I could? I don't think you can, nor is it really your responsibility. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but feminism is not about equality, which is why I am not a feminist. And hell, I can't be. I am a cisgendered white male, public enemy number one to feminists. So tell me, if feminism is about not judging others based on their sex, gender, or race, then why are they constantly attacking straight white men? Because it's okay to oppress your oppressors? White men have given you the world. They built civilizations to house multiple people. They fought and died for the rights we all enjoy today. And you want to say that they are part of some evil dark cloud in the sky overhanging all of society? That sounds utterly ridiculous. And more women are turning away from feminism, not because of internalized misogyny, it's because other women don't speak for them. Women understand that they are not systematically oppressed in Western society, and they are uplifted and taken care of, and many of them want their own agency. And to have agency is to not see yourself as a victim, which I do with my female friends. I want to stand next to them, not in front of them and not behind them. If you see me as a hater, I'm not. I just see what's behind the curtains of the show. I'm giving women exactly what they wanted, to be treated the same as men. And what women didn't realize is that being a man is not easy. So women want all the rights that men share, but share none of the responsibilities that come with these rights. This is feminism. So that was my response to the first comment. And then some other feminist chick comes into the discussion, basically saying how, like, I have a huge chip on my shoulder and that, being a white straight male, basically, they're not the enemy of feminists. And all the feminists that she knows don't see men as the enemy. So, and then she starts to talk about my personal experiences as if she fucking understands anything about it, which she doesn't. So, I'm actually gonna read my reply to this too, because it's very important. Okay. So, to this feminist here, this is my response. A. You don't know me or my personal friend. Therefore, much of what you said in regards to what I said falls flat. You are coming into our shared experiences as if you know it. You don't. B. I'm bisexual, leaning more towards men, not straight. Never have been, but thanks for assuming. I've most likely had more dick in me than you have. LOL. Look up Erin Pitsey, the individual who started the first women's domestic shelter in the UK. Her research in reciprocal domestic partner violence showed men can be victims of women, and when she wanted to open a male shelter, a group of feminist women overtook her research, threatened her family, killed her dog, and forced her out of the country. Does that sound peaceful to you? The gender wage gap is also a myth simply because women have freedom of choice to pursue whatever job they wish. No one is hindering them from working any job. You as a woman have these privileges and opportunities given to you. And now I've made a list. In regards to the gender wage gap, you can choose any post-secondary education you want. You can pursue any degree of your choosing. You can then pursue any career of your choice influenced by your choice of degree / education. You can work part-time or full-time, which affects your overall income depending on how much you work. You have access to vacation time, which includes free travel anywhere if you choose. You have access to maternity leave if you choose to have children, to which in society is no longer an expectation of women. If you don't want children, you don't have to have them to have a purpose. Wow, look at all those privileges. Ironically, that I, as a white male, share with you. I too can choose to be a father and gain paternity leave if I fight for it, and yet feminism blames me for having these privileges based on me having a penis and therefore am part of the patriarchy, and exempts you from these same privileges. Funny how that works. Common sense dictates that the gender wage gap can't exist. If women are paid less than men for the same work, all companies would fire their men and hire only women. It would make them a profit. Right? Also, I love how feminists fight to get more women in higher paying fields such as CEOs and the STEM fields and scream about equality, but there are more men in extreme labor-intense positions such as sewer treatment, coal mines, street repair, garbage disposal, oil work, etc., and yet you're not asking for affirmative action into these jobs. Men suffer higher rates of work-related deaths and injuries than women. Men also have a higher suicide rate than women, and women outlive men. Tell me, how does this make women as a gender oppressed? Because you seem to have more advantages in this regard. Everything can be rationally and factually proven. Maybe if you look at it from a non-feminist lens, you will realize this. I have a huge chip on my shoulder. A, you don't know me and thus can't accurately describe my life experiences. I haven't done so to your life. Please don't do it to mine. B, it is merely pointing out the hypocrisy that is feminism. I defended myself after being told to check my privilege and that I was pro-rape. The context to that, you might ask, was because I believe in due process and innocent until proven guilty, which means everyone has a right to defend themselves against any claims of horrendous crimes such as rape, murder, theft, and sexual assault. They saw it as me victim blaming. But when anyone makes a huge claim, this person raped me, for example, it is the right of the accused to defend against accusations, and a trial begins. Listen and believe the victim 100% without any evidence is harmful to everyone. I could say that you raped me 10 years ago in Toronto, Canada, and I would have to throw you in jail without due process. How would that make you feel? How would that make your loved ones feel? We would essentially bring back the Salem witch trials, and we all know how that turned out. So stop being melodramatic with your women's eyes turned red and their tongues grew long and forked bullshit. You're sounding like a fool. My friends only see themselves as feminists and thus all about equality, but for just women. They upheld their ignorance over our shared experiences. I will admit it hurt me deeply, since I held them in high regard, but hey, I'm a male and I should just know my place, right? Now, I'm not painting all women with that brush. I know independent thinking women who don't need feminism in their life. I know strong women, who love their femininity. Okay? I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of feminism ideology. I am criticizing an idea, not women. Difference. Men are abusive, you say? Well, so are women. Men are cheaters. So are women. I do have an open mind to the goodness of people, and there's a lot of people who label as libertarians, egalitarians, women against feminism, and they seem to have a better grasp on how the world works. And they understand that respect is earned, not given freely. Life can be unfair sometimes, thus it's on us to work around that. 100% of women you know wouldn't consider me their enemy? Funny you say that, but that would imply that you know exactly what all your female friends think, say, and do, which you don't. Also, if they believe in the fake patriarchy, then I fall under that category as a male who has more privileges and rights than women do. So subconsciously, they would blame me because of this ideology. People should protect each other. I agree with this statement. Too bad many feminists only bully others into their cult, attack and blame men, and shame anybody who disagrees with their ideology. Maybe you should help remind them of that fact. I'm glad that you want men to not feel disempowered, so why are you a supporter of feminism? Because it does exactly the opposite to what you listed. The right to vote traditionally wasn't available to all men and women. Rich men and men who owned property titles and who enlisted for conscription could vote. Black men who were, most likely slaves at that time, could not vote. And there is proof that some women who owned property could vote. When the suffragettes got the vote, they got so without needing land titles or to sign up for conscription. These are some of the responsibilities I was referring to. Sounds like women have the upper hand on that one, but I guess women have always been oppressed, right? I'm glad you agree I don't have to be a feminist. Most men can't be, simply because of our sex, which is pushed by feminism. I don't think all women are crazy. I understand the differences between women who are strong and are agents. It's those who fall on a harmful ideology and plays the victim card when they are some of the most privileged people on the planet that get me upset. The world has catered to women throughout history. This doesn't excuse the harm or bad behavior towards women, obviously. But then feminism is trying to get away with their shitty behaviors towards men and boys and seem to think that they don't suffer the consequences. This is feminism. So yeah, there was my response, guys. Like and comment. Tell me if I missed any points. I thought I was pretty mature about it. I didn't really do any name calling. I am criticizing the idea of feminism. So, like, subscribe. You know the drill. So until then, always take care of each other. Bye, guys.